Hello and welcome to another Mondo Street mini pod. Today we're looking at the original of The Crow. That's Brandon Lee, Michael Wincott and Ernie Hudson. Yes, Ernie Hudson of Ghostbusters fame. First off, The Crow, the original, very, very faithful to the source material, fairly low budget for the time, but manages to keep the sets, the whole design ethic, the whole feeling really, really true to the original. I think the thing to mention here with The Crow is that Brandon Lee, whilst he was almost like a reluctant action hero, was perfect for this role. They could have looked at however many others and they would never have got anybody as good as Brandon Lee. It's the story of Eric Draven and his girlfriend, fiance, who are murdered on what's called Devil's Night in the film, we'll assume it's Halloween, by a gang who are trying to clear properties for redevelopment. 1 year later, Eric Draven is reborn from the grave to seek revenge on the people that killed his love. It's just great. The soundtrack, you've got an incidental soundtrack which is composed originally for the film, which is beautiful. It is great. It hits all the right notes for emotion and bringing you along with the characters. But then it's got some actual, tunes from Nine Inch Nails, The Cure, which fit in perfectly with the whole aesthetic of the film. It is quite grungy in the way it's done. There's lots of action in it, not overtly violent. There's nothing too gratuitous in there. It's just a great story. It's the typical love from beyond the grave, trying to get back at the people that caused the pain. I can't say enough about this film, about how much I love it as it stands. Now, should it be touched and reworked or reimagined? For me, no. I can't see how another director, another set of actors, one with a mullet, can actually come anywhere close to how this film felt at the time. There's the other argument as well that this film shouldn't be touched because of the tragedy. Brandon Lee was killed making this film. And that would play to some degree to saying, well, let's not touch it, let's not play with it. I don't hold high hopes for the remake. I just don't think it needs to be made. The film was followed by 3 fairly poor, bloody awful sequels, which got worse with each iteration. Again, something that says don't play with a winning formula, just make one film. If only Hollywood would listen to that a little bit more. But then, the dollar is mighty, and that's how people do things nowadays. Yes, Eric Draven, Brandon Lee, fantastic through it. Ernie Hudson is there for some light relief. He does have some quite pithy one-liners. Michael Wincott plays what he did throughout the 90s, early noughties, and just playing a bad guy all the way through it. No redeeming features. So yeah, it's a great film. It's one of my favourites within that type of film. Great music, acting's as good as it can be in that kind of film. Great story, and it didn't need the sequels or a remake. So if you've not seen it before, I hope you enjoy it as much as I did, and lots of people I know have enjoyed it. And if you have seen it before, spend your time seeing that instead of the remake. I think you'll be much more satisfied. Enjoy.